Hey everyone, Old School Pokemon here, back again with podcast episode number 6, rolling right along with these podcast episodes every other week, joined by my co-host, Dan, KetchumAllCollectibles. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited to get into this next episode. Hopefully the audience is excited as well. So let's start off by hopping right into the questions from last week's episode. And as per usual, guys, if you're watching this, feel free to leave a question in the comments down below on either Dan's channel or my channel, whichever you prefer. Preferably my channel, but yeah, definitely leave your questions in the comments below, as well as if you have any topics that you want us to discuss. Definitely leave those in the comments as well, and we'll kind of go through those and pick out the best ones to talk about in future episodes. So the first question that we have is from Spielman's Collectibles. He says, I've been putting off getting a PO box because it is quite expensive where I live, and I will most likely be moving in a few months. I have a decent-sized eBay store, and I am hoping to get more involved in making YouTube videos again. So I think it may be best if I start having something different for my return and/or delivery address on eBay. What are your thoughts on having a PO box for your business? You want to start us off on this one?
Yeah, sure. My thoughts are that I would 100% recommend it. There's a lot of benefits to it. The main one, I guess, just being if an issue were to arise, the person doesn't have your home address. I mean, most times you're shipping cross country and it wouldn't be any kind of an issue like that, but that is something to factor in there. Other than that, you're talking about moving. I actually moved, it's been over a year ago now, but having the PO box kind of benefited me there because I didn't have to try to transition, forward my mail, do anything like that. Like, it was just static to my PO box that is near where I work. If you're moving out of state, cross country, then that doesn't apply so much, but that potentially is a consideration. I'm actually running 2 PO boxes right now, so that's how worth it I think they are. I have 2 of them. And I don't know about you, Nick, but I live out in the woods, and maybe they're a lot more expensive in big cities or something, but I have a larger sized one near where I work, and that's 160 or 180 a year, I believe.
Okay.
And then I kind of wised up, and here's kind of a recommendation if you do get a PO box. Not everything fit, even in my larger one. I went with the smallest size in my new location. They'll leave a slip in there. You take it to the counter. You get your package. They're not all going to fit anyways if you get a big box. So don't pay up for the larger ones would be my advice. And I think I pay $90 a year for my new one. So I'll let you give your thoughts on PO boxes.
Yeah, I'm the same way with you. I think they are absolutely essential if you're going to have a presence online, because there are a lot of weird people out there, and you just don't want to be giving out your any of your personal information. So having that PO box avoids being able or giving out that personal information. It kind of sets up a barrier for people to, if they do want to find you, they're probably going to be able to find you anyway. But it does set up kind of that safety barrier and kind of separates your home from your business, which is always nice, especially if you have a larger type eBay business with a lot of inventory at your house. I think it's absolutely essential. One of the when I first got started selling on eBay back in 2009, one of the first things my dad told me was to get a PO box for that exact reason. So I've had my PO box since I started out on eBay, and I was going to mention the same thing that you mentioned there with just get the smallest size available, because they'll put a slip in your PO box, and if you have a bigger package, you'll be able to go to the counter to pick it up. I do pay a little bit more than you. Mine is, I believe it's $140 a year to have mine, but absolutely worthwhile. and
Yeah.
you can use it as a tax deduction. So that's always nice right there.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would say absolutely really important. It's well worth the cost just for the peace of mind there.
Hmm.
And then our next question is from Z. He asked kind of a fun question. What do you guys like to do as you sort through cards, music, YouTube, etc.? For me personally, I'm constantly sorting through cards, as that's the majority of what I do. The majority of my business is these bulk type cards, so that is a never-ending process for me. And whenever I am sorting through cards, if I don't have something on, whether that be music or YouTube videos, it just does not feel right to me. So I have to have something playing in the background. I can't just be sitting in silence while I'm sorting through these cards. So for me, usually my kind of breakdown is in the morning, I'll be watching YouTube videos. I always watch every single time Z&G Emporium or Z's Flips posts a new video. I definitely check those out. Same with Dan, KetchumAllCollectibles. Watch all of his videos. Outside of that, I occasionally watch some of Pokenomics live streams. I don't join the live stream, but I watch them afterwards during the week. I watch most of TCA Gaming's videos, and then outside of like Pokemon, I do a lot of eBay reselling type videos of people going to garage sales and finding stuff that they're going to resell on eBay. Just anything to do with the whole resale process, I absolutely love. So that'll be usually in the morning, the first half of the day, and then second half of the day, I usually switch it up and listen to music. Listen to my I got Apple Music, so I put something on there and just sort through cards for the rest of the day. What's your routine there?
Yeah, for me, not music so much, but pretty much YouTube or like podcasts. Um, I've got a handful of kind of the same way with YouTube. I've got some of the everyday watchers or every time they post, and then there's a handful that I just the ones that interest me. And if I run through my whole watch later queue, I'll I might just go to the home page and go down the rabbit hole, see where YouTube takes me. Sometimes that can be interesting. But then non-YouTube, there's just some certain different podcasts, non-Pokemon related, some of them. Like I'm big into like finance, and so there's some podcasts that I follow with that. But same with you. I can't really just sit in an empty, quiet room sorting cards in silence. I need some kind of, and it's not a really taxing thing, like mentally. A lot of times you can divert some attention elsewhere, so it's easy to consume some content while you're doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, mentally it's not bad at all. What gets me is my eyes start to kill after a while. Because like when I'm going through cards to sort by condition, after a couple hours of doing that, my
Oof.
eyes are shot. Probably
Yeah,
going to go blind in a couple years.
I've never sat down and just only sorted cards for hours. Like I've done. I mean, this is a side thing for me, so I'm not doing 8-hour days, 5 days a week with this. But on weekends, I've occasionally done 8 or 10 or 12 hours. But it'll be sometimes shipping, sometimes sorting, sometimes going through my binder. Like I'll have to mix it up every so often because I just can't. I can't really do one thing just hours straight like that because the same thing would happen.
Yeah. No, see, I'm the opposite, or at least I think I'm the opposite. I have to have a kind of a set schedule for myself. So I do all my packaging right when I wake up in the morning. Then I'll go ahead and answer emails. Then I'll go to the post office, and then I'll start my day either sorting cards, listing items, taking pictures, or whatnot. But it's always that same type of order.
Yeah, I'd imagine if I ever did do this more regularly, more full time, anything like that, I probably would have to schedule it more, do things. But right now it's just, I don't even do it fixed nights of the week all the time. It's fairly sporadic, so it's easier to be doing things in smaller chunks. But
Yeah.
I probably would make it a bit more rigid if I were doing it really regularly.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hear you there. Yeah, no, that's having I gotta get better with my schedule because like last weekend I got my the Blastoise V and Venusaur V theme decks, and then I got the some other battle box kit.
The Victini
Yeah, the
Gardevoir.
Vitini and yeah, that one. So I got a whole bunch of those, and I broke all those down. So opened all those up, sorted through all the cards, took out the good ones that I wanted to list in my own eBay store, and then took out the other good ones that were selling good on Troll and Toad to send to Troll and Toad. But I spent literally the entire weekend doing that whole process there. So I basically worked my whole weekend, just not having much of a life. But I took Monday off for Memorial Day, and then today I really didn't do much work outside of packaging. Or I'm sorry, yeah, I took Monday off. Tuesday was busy for packaging, and then today's Wednesday, so I didn't do too much work today. but it's okay since I worked on the weekend.
Yeah, I actually had a 5-day weekend this past weekend. I had the Friday and the Monday off with work, and then I took Thursday myself. It was a nice I did a decent amount of Pokemon stuff. I sent a bunch of stuff out to Troll and Toad also, but it was a nice extended weekend.
Before one more thing before we hop into the topics. I was going through Troll and Toad this past weekend, going through those theme decks, and every single item that I looked up, you and Rusty were there together. So
He
pretty soon it'll be you, Rusty, and me.
his inventory, like all the modern stuff, you see a lot of the same names. You're gonna see me and Rusty and then a handful of others too. But when I send like reverse hollow, diamond and pearl, random stuff, it's like he's there for everything. It is crazy what he's got in there, but I'm slowly working my way up.
Yeah, no, he must have his own section of the warehouse there.
Yeah, I
Oh.
can't even imagine.
But before we get on too much of a tangent on that question there, let's hop into the topics that we have for today. First one, I guess we'll start from the beginning, or at least what I have written down here. That's kind of talking about modern product and the availability of modern product, which is actually improving quite substantially, which is nice. You wanna get us started on this one since you wrote up the notes on this portion?
Yeah, the notes are fairly scattered and but I guess one thing I was drawing attention to was there's kind of an interesting situation going on. Months ago, if you had asked me if we'd ever see a sub $100 booster box again, I would have definitely answered yes, but I would have put a time frame on it of 6 months to 18 months maybe, when the printers were able to wind up and really get going. Shockingly, at least to me, I think to most people, we're already seeing it with Battle Styles. So Battle Styles is sub $100 on eBay right now. I've actually got a handful of the ETBs at Troll and Toad. I think I can get more right now from my distributors. But Troll and Toad ran a promo where they went sub $30 on their ETBs, and retail on those is 40, right?
I think I think it's 30 because it's just a normal ETB.
I thought, is
Our
it 30 and then
normal ETB is 40.
I think it might be 40 for normal and then 50 for the holiday.
I know the holidays are 50.
I'm not even pot, but in any case, like $30 ETBs, I think a note I had on here too. I think Vivid Voltage ETBs are still they're nearly 100. And the booster boxes are around 170. An additional wave did come out recently. I got a few more cases of that. So they've come down to about 170 when I looked this morning. They were low 200s prior to that, but so it's not that everything is available sub $100, but I don't anticipate Chilling Reign will be either, because it seems to be a pretty solid set from what I've heard. I got allocated a bit. Um, just kind of an interesting scenario to have gotten here so quick. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that we're already seeing sub $100 booster boxes again. I didn't think it was going to happen for a really long time. I didn't think it was never going to happen again. I thought it was going to happen at some point, but like with you, I thought it was going to happen further down the line. But one thing on that I am wondering is it's is it because Battle Styles was I don't know what other people thought of Battle Styles, but I thought it was a terrible set. I was not a huge fan of it at all. So is it because Battle Styles was such a bad set? That's why the pricing is so low on it already, or is it just because of the availability? And I know they did their second wave of booster boxes maybe a week or two ago. So that could be also there's an increased supply, so that could be part of the reason why pricing is starting to dwindle down a bit to below that $100 mark. But I was just wondering if it was because it was such a bad set in my opinion.
Yeah, how much of it was increased supply and how much of it was decreased demand, I have no idea. I only get a handful of cases of boosters at each release. I go more into the ETBs and just the other style products. I've never really, and maybe I've been too stuck in like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I didn't really touch booster boxes because there was no money to be made.
Yep.
Because I'd buy them for 80, 82, 85, whatever, low 80s, and they'd be selling on eBay for $89.99. So I've always gone for like the products with a promo where you get the 4 packs, the jumbo or the figure, the pins, whatever, and I'd make money breaking those down, selling off the packs, and I was able to get like like a cheaper per pack price getting products of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So guys who order 100 cases at release of every set, they'd have a way better idea, because if you ordered 100 cases of every new release and they told you, hey, for Vivid Voltage, you're only going to get 20, for Battle Styles, we're going to give you all 100. I think to an extent, it's kind of both. So like it's kind of partially increased supply, but it's also partially the demand is just higher for Vivid Voltage and the better sets, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Chilling Reign when that set actually releases. Because I know right now I saw some random seller on Facebook was doing pre-orders for Chilling Reign booster boxes at $150 a piece, and there were a lot of people grabbing those up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the pricing for Chilling Reign when it actually does come out. If it stays around that 150 mark or if it immediately drops.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard, I don't know if what you go for on booster cases at release. I didn't get allocated at all. I go for a really low number. I get like 4 cases from each distributor. So I think the way distributors work, like when you hear some people say 5% allocation, 10% allocation, I think every distributor probably has their own policy on this, but I know talking to one of my reps, like the way that they work specifically, or at least the way that I was told they work, is everyone who orders X amount or less will just get them. What exactly that number is, I don't know, but so somebody who orders maybe it's, say it's 10 cases, just guessing a number. Everybody who orders 10 cases or less will get 100% of what they're ordering. And then the people who order 1,000 cases, 500 cases, 100 cases, whatever, they'll be the ones that get that 10% allocation, 20% allocation, whatever. And I think a lot of that is based on account history too. Like I don't think necessarily a 5% allocation is universal.
Mm-mm.
If you've got a guy who's had an account for 10 years and has bought the same amount of every set, they're just a lot more likely to get nearly their full allocation because the
Yeah.
distributor could anticipate it. If you've got a brand new guy who's only been around for 6 months and he's always ordered 10 cases at release and he wants to get 100 cases of something, those are where you're more likely to get the allocations.
Yeah, definitely. I I didn't get I forget already, but I didn't get allocated per se, but they did break my order down into the initial release and the wave 2 release. I think I I think I ordered 6 cases of booster boxes, and then they're going to be giving me 4 at release and 2 with the wave 2. I believe that's how it worked. I could be wrong there, but I believe that's how it worked there.
So we're both pretty small with as far
Oh,
as booster cases go. I mean, some guys like people might be familiar with Danny Phantom. I think he does hundreds of cases at release, and I mean, there's a lot of guys moving a lot of volume out there.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. No, the only thing I do is I like to open 500 packs to sell all the individual cards. And then
Mhm.
after that, I like to have one booster box set aside so that more or this is my new goal here is to keep one of each sword and shield booster box. And then once the next era comes out or the next whatever comes out, um I'll sell art sets of each of those packs in like one big lot of all sword and shield packs.
I actually I attempted to do that with XY
I
when
I bought I bought one of your lots.
I actually I didn't remember that when I started talking about it, but as you were about to say it, you refreshed my memory. I have not had a lot of luck getting like any kind of a premium with that. I mean,
No?
I've actually found that I had to go like a slight discount to get him to move. And maybe that was a few years ago. I mean, maybe things have changed. Maybe you can get that premium for something of that nature. But yeah, I have at least a few art sets of everything back to XY. And I just when things were going nuts, I pulled that listing. I think I had it every XY art set for 500 for a while, and then I went to 1,000, and I'm like, this is a. At one point, I forget if it was it when it was at 500 or at 1,000. I'm like, this is actually a decent deal. I don't even want to sell this, and it's not even selling. I just took it off, and a lot of those go to Troll and Toad now, and
Yeah.
and they sell well. But yeah, I did make a note too. I'm not big into Japanese, but it's just interesting. Like the two most current sets as of today, still battle styles. We're a couple of weeks away from Chilling Reign, but Eevee Heroes just dropped in Japan, and I think they're having like unprecedented demand and unprecedented allocations for a Japanese set. Though I don't know what the exact release date of that was, but we're a few days out, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been tracking the booster box prices a little bit on eBay, and they have been coming down. I don't even know 100% what retail is. I think it's around 5,000 yen, so like $50 on these new set booster boxes.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Maybe this one's special, maybe it's more, but prices are still around $100 a box on eBay, 110, 120. Um, So I have no idea if that's going to ever head anywhere down near 50 to 80 or if that's going to stick around 100. No idea there, but I'll probably pick up a couple boxes at some point. I'll just guess and see what happens.
Yeah, I want to get a few boxes myself. I'm waiting for that. If it goes to 100 or below 100, like 90, $100 a box, then I'll go ahead and jump on it. I'm just gonna keep waiting though, because I think that there's so much hype for EV Heroes right now that I think pricing will decline or decrease a little bit at least
Yeah.
as, as the hype dies down. But one random thought I thought of when we were talking about the retail price of Japanese boxes. I remember I actually I bought 10 CP6 boxes off of SM Pratt back when CP6 released for $45 per box.
That was a good buy. Especially if you held. I think you still have a few today, right?
I actually, I had all 10 up until I got back home in November. I actually just sold my last 3 to someone in Germany, and I was talking with that guy, and I sold mine for 2,000 a piece, which I thought was good because it was direct through PayPal. But he was telling me he's buying them to resell, which I didn't care about because I'm still doing phenomenal on those. But he was saying in Germany he's able to get 2,400 euro, which I did the conversion, and it's like $2,900, which is unbelievable to me.
Yeah, that's I sold my last couple right around 2 as well. I opened a bunch of those too. I mean, I actually have some Korean ones left still, and those they're hard to even find listed, but some have sold for several $100s each.
I don't understand why Korean's so cheap compared to Japanese.
Yeah, I
It's like
forget what I
dirt cheap.
paid. I forget what I paid at the time, but it was super cheap. But even that, like the sealed box, there's been a couple sales of several $100s per box, and they have like a Charizard box, a Blastoise box, and a Venusaur box. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but yeah, that Evolutions is wild.
Oh, absolutely. The English boxes have been coming down a bit though. I did notice that because I had 2 or 3 left back about a month ago now, and I had those listed for $1,000. I took an offer of 900 on each of the ones that I had listed,
Mm.
to different people. But now they're on eBay for 850. So even those have come down a bit.
Yeah, I think there's just pallets still. Some businesses have that their cost basis is still 80.
Oh yeah.
So if I was a business that had pallets, I mean, cash flow, you need to keep cash flow going. And when you've got such a high profit, you'll sell. I mean, you'd rather sell at 1,000 than 800, but you're still doing well selling at 800, and you're not going to just sit
Absolutely.
on it and let it go away. You're going to, I mean, that's we don't need to dive too deep into it, but people definitely, I think they're starting to realize that some of the mania of last year, sealed product can never go down. I mean, you're even seeing it with Watsy stuff. That's not the case.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of people have really low cost bases from a long time ago, and they'll sell at market.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Have you been seeing all those, speaking of evolutions, all those Kanto boxes with, like, it's got like the 10 packs and the Mewtwo. Those have been popping up a lot on Facebook. I think some either Walmart or Target, or it had to have been Walmart because Target doesn't sell Pokemon anymore. But I think some Walmarts stocked those, or a few of those at some point, because those
I
have been over on Facebook a lot recently.
I think they sell them at like BJ's and like Sam's Club and stuff like that too.
Okay, yeah.
One interesting thing though, we don't need to go too far into it, but I saw Target today is actually putting it back on the shelves. I,
Really?
I saw some people posting on Instagram about it, stories like, okay, everyone behave so we don't lose it again. And I don't know if that's nationwide or whatever, but I think some Target locations at least are putting it back on the shelves. But
Well, that didn't last long. Were they
yeah,
able to take it off the shelves?
I don't remember the timing of it, but I picked up cases of those, and I broke them down for the packs. But
Yeah.
was that late last year that those came through initially?
I I believe it was sometime last year.
I think it would have
'Cause
had to been
I
because I
do
think,
remember seeing them at BJ's.
yeah, I bought a bunch from whatever I could get from my distributor, and then I just broke them down and sold them
Yep.
as loose packs. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're still printing them. It was probably just a matter of that MJ Holdings finding some inventory, releasing it out more, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
One interesting thing too that I forgot to have in the notes, but I thought about the big reprint, restock. Some people aren't really sure exactly what it is, but it seems more like a reprint. Sun and Moon base set elite trainer boxes. Um, I think there's been a handful of videos out there. I actually saw Cardinal Gaming. Mason had one of the first ones that I think he had the first one I saw about like why isn't this bigger news than he saw at that point. But it was an interesting choice for two reasons. One, because Sun and Moon base is pretty old.
Yeah.
It's going further back than most people would have expected. And two,
That would have been early 2017, right?
yeah, yeah. Which is a ways back. I mean, that's one set in front of Evolutions.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not standard legal. Sun and Moon base was not a fantastic set as far as I'm aware. And then ETBs are just an odd product. Like Hidden Fates was the first set to really have a substantial reprint wave of ETBs, as far as I understand. And that's a holiday set, so maybe it was more. I mean, there was no booster box to reprint with Hidden Fates, so ETBs are like the main product for those holiday sets, so it was kind of reasonable.
But I think even that was unexpected.
Oh, it was definitely unexpected, but it's more like, well, they can't do the box. They did do the tins, they did the ETBs, and but yeah, to see that, I mean, I picked up everything I could get. I'm not expecting the price to hold. Those aren't like some of the Sun and Moon ETBs are a few $100 or more. Those ones are like less than 100, I think. I think 80-ish, which is still more than double MSRP. I mean, picking them back up at.
It's funny. You actually sold me the Sun and Moon ETBs, I believe. I think I got those off of you. I actually sold those two because I know I'm going to be getting two more. So I sold the two that I bought from you or another person for $80 a piece, and then when this new reprint comes out, I'll be getting two more to put into the collection. But definitely wanted to take advantage of that $80 price tag while I could, because that is not going to last once this new wave of ETBs comes out.
And that's one of the big pieces of, I guess, evidence or proof as to it being a reprint, in my opinion. I was offered these at my typical Elite Trainer box pricing.
Yep.
Typically, the way we actually were just talking about this the other day. Sometimes distributors will reach out to you and say, "Hey, we've got more Burning Shadows in stock if you want some." Oh well, what's the price? Several $100s. It'll be like full blown retail. You'll go on eBay and it's like, okay, I'll pass because I can't even sell it for that. And that's when it's maybe they found a few stray boxes in their warehouse, old stock, whatever. But when you're taking a 4-year-old set and you're releasing it back at original wholesale pricing, I mean, that kind of lends to this is a reprint. I'm quite confident. And then the quantities too. Like I get fairly variable allocations lately on ETBs, but I'm getting like 60 of them. I'm getting 6 cases, which is not a ton, but it's a decent amount.
I'm getting I think I'm getting half. I think we talked about this. I think I'm getting half of what you're getting. And I was wondering if that was because I used to never order ETBs. So I wonder if they're basing these allocations off of if you ordered the Sun and Moon ETBs in the past, they'll give you however much you ordered back then, or how that works. Because I always used to just get booster boxes. It wasn't until recently that I started branching out into ETBs and the pin collection boxes and the theme decks and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the inner workings of how allocations are determined are as much of a mystery as what happens at PSA.
Exactly. Speaking of PSA, I was talking to you a bit about this earlier. I got my when you sign up for the PSA membership, you get that voucher if you do the gold or platinum tier. And
Mhm.
so I submitted my 15 card free submission back in December, and I actually just got an email about that this afternoon that my grades were ready. However, I needed to call them because my card was expired, the one that I gave them back in December. So that was super exciting that I got my grades back. But I called them up and gave them my new card number, and I said, "Oh, so sorry about this. I didn't realize my card was expiring this soon." And he goes, "Yeah, no problem about that. We've actually been dealing with that a lot lately because of
Yeah,
their backlog." I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah. I mean, what's the average credit card? A couple years, 2, 3 years
Yeah,
out from next.
exactly.
So it's like when your backlog grows to a year or more, 50% of your orders are going to be having expired credit cards and people moving. People, I mean, just a bad way to do business to allow it to get so long and
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
all the additional customer service, all the additional stuff they have to do to deal with that is just crazy.
oh yeah. I don't know if
But
you want to. I don't know if you want to hop to a different topic though, since we brought up PSA. One thing that I saw on Instagram today, which most of you probably know about already, but
mhm.
BGS shut down submissions. They're no longer accepting. I don't know if it's completely. I didn't really look into it too much, but I know for like the at least the bulk tier or the bulk submissions. So I assume it's similar to PSA. They're no
It is.
longer accepting submissions.
Yeah, they're doing, I don't know what they call them, and I don't know what the exact cheapest rate will be, but some things are open. It's just like hundreds of dollars per card.
Yeah, yep. So similar to PSA. Hmm. I
It
I'm not surprised by this. I thought it was only a matter of time before that happened because I feel like BGS has been in worse shape than PSA for a long time. I know people were complaining about that that very bottom tier at BGS long before they were complaining about PSA's bulk turnaround times. So I feel like BGS has been in this predicament for a lot longer than they've admitted to, I guess. I don't follow BGS too much, but I
yeah,
do think they've been backlogged way longer.
I've never done a bulk submission with BGS, but supposedly what I had heard was I think they've been over a year for like a couple of years now. Because I remember big PSA guys used to be like, "Hey, we're kind of going down the wrong path, but at least we're not BGS as far as turnaround times go."
Yeah.
And then CGC comes onto the market and they're like, "Hey, we've got good turnaround times," and then they head right down the same path. It's just it blows my mind how these companies. I mean, if where we were going to head with this, I'm sure where you were heading was is CGC next.
Yep.
If we get to that point, which I think it very reasonably might happen, it's just I don't get it. Imagine being the CEOs of these companies, and it's you've got three companies that are going to be sitting on over a year backlog. So like at the same time, these three companies, PSA is still grading cards for $7.50 a card. CGC is still grading cards for $7-8 a card. BGS, whatever their cheapest rate is. Clearly, the market is willing to pay substantially more, and they brought in all this cheap work that they're stuck doing for the next 2 years, and we're gonna be in such a weird place as far as when Chilling Reign comes out. I mean, right now, Battle Styles, there's not a single card in Battle Styles I'd imagine worth paying $300 to submit.
No.
And say 200 open next, 150, whatever. It's gonna be just a weird place where you might not have your first cards coming out of sets until 2 years later. It's an unprecedented time, and it's just crazy.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think when I first got home back in November and first started looking into CGC and submitting into CGC, I made a video about how I was going to start submitting all of my hit cards from the booster packs that I opened into CGC for grading before I actually sell them. Now I don't think I'm going to send any of those cards to CGC. I think I'm going to go back to just selling them raw because it's not worth the wait anymore. I'd rather just make a little bit of money on those cards than wait a year or two on those cards now.
It's tough. It's a really interesting time because there's a lot of stuff there, but it almost opens up an interesting opportunity, quite a bit of risk involved because you'd be paying a premium to get them through. But like if and when these chase cards come out, if you want to pay $100 to get it expressed, which some people have always done to some extent,
Yeah, right
that
in the beginning.
that might be pop one for longer than normal. That might be pop five, pop. Not that they're gonna hold. I mean, Modern has printed a lot. They're gonna enter the backlog, I'm sure, eventually, and go on that 1 to 2 year queue. But it's a really interesting dynamic, and it's just something we've not seen, where a set comes out and there's no reasonable way to get that in the slab anywhere. Maybe, I mean, right now you still do have CGC, but they're over a year. I
Oh
think
yeah.
they're still publishing some, what is it, 200 something business days.
The last I saw was 224.
I haven't sent any cards to them since their price increase. I sent a couple thousand to get in before that.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm in the same place. Like I've got a couple boxes that are growing of someday maybe I'll send, but as of right now, like new releases, I'm selling some raw. I'm sitting on a decent amount, but everyone is. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know how these places are going to reopen. I think we were having a discussion a little bit ago, but I kind of made the comment that, oh, CGC might not be affected directly because they only do Magic and Pokemon. And then you made the point that this was with you, right? That
Yeah. Yep.
CGC is only Magic and Pokemon. Do they do Yu-Gi-Oh now? Maybe not.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
But CSG, Certified Sports Guarantee, is under the same blanket umbrella company, whatever. I would assume that there's some shared resources there. Maybe not. So if they get inundated with submissions, would that have an effect on CGC, the TCG stuff? Potentially, but I would not be at all surprised to hear CGC stopping taking submissions under some certain level relatively soon too.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all either.
it,
I'm hoping to get one more submission out to them. Which, speaking of that, I got to do that within the next couple days. I got a bunch of. I broke up. I don't know if I told you this, but I broke up all of my Watsy sets. So I had first edition Jungle through Aquapolis, minus the Shining cards. I already had those graded, but first edition Jungle through Aquapolis, and they're all like near mint to mint condition. I thought they'd all grade 8s or higher. So I broke all those sets up, and I'm going to be sending those cards off to CGC. So I gotta send those cards off at some point soon.
yeah, I do it much sooner rather than later. I think BGS. I think you still have a few days.
I can't stand BGS.
Yeah, I've never submitted bulk. I've done a few like crossing PSA 9s to BGS 9.5s, and I've actually had decent success with that. That was a few years ago though, but I don't intend to send any. I think if anyone is interested though, June 6th or June 7th, I don't remember the exact date, but I think it's a few days out. This should be going live on the 3rd of June. But I just can't believe that the grading companies let it get here.
Oh, I
I
know.
mean, they see on a daily basis their computers update with how many were submitted on the online forms the day prior, and it's like I don't know why they let it get here. And I've heard the
I
argument
have
made.
no idea on that.
I've heard some people make the argument, oh, well, CGC can't charge more than PSA and BGS because they need to get market share. And when you take in over a year backlog, I mean, theoretically, you do kind of guarantee that those are ultimately going to end up in CGC cases.
Mm-hmm.
But growing your backlog isn't getting more cards into cases on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, if they use some hindsight, like if they, I would assume that if you talk to the CEO or the president, whoever runs the show at CGC, I would assume that they would say, yeah, we should have priced it a bit higher. We should have throttled a little bit so that we could kind of be that quicker turnaround service.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah, no, definitely.
They just open themselves up to the floodgates of substandard cards being put into their cases, and same thing with PSA and BGS too. It's just a really interesting scenario we're in.
Yeah. No, it's. I hate that we're in this scenario because I wish I had sent off so many more cards.
I actually I I submit most of mine through Ludkins, but I
Mhm.
do have a few big submissions out directly too. I created a spreadsheet every single card I have in the backlog at PSA.
Like individual cards, or like total order size.
No, like I have one spreadsheet with 4,000 rows of every card I
Oh
currently have there.
my.
Um, I think I'm gonna do a video on it pretty soon. I don't think I'm gonna. It's too big. It's too much to show everything. But I kind of broke it down to what's modern, what's vintage, what's in between, and
Yep.
kind of a glimpse into, not representative of the entire PSA backlog, but my personal PSA backlog and just how it breaks down. And some of the individual things shocked me. I'm like, oh man, I didn't realize I sent that many of this card. Or it was a fun exercise for myself, and hopefully it will be interesting for people to see. So a little
Yeah.
bit of sneak peek for anyone who's stuck around this long
I
of
like
an
it. I
upcoming
like it.
video. Yeah, but
Hmm.
I didn't think grading companies. It was one little note on our sheet, and then there's no way around it. It's always going to turn into a 20-minute conversation when it comes up, if not a 2-hour.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But
Well, I don't
uh,
know. I don't know what you want to talk about next because we have a few different things we can talk about. But I kind of want to talk about the 25th anniversary set.
yeah, sure.
I'm excited for that one. So, couple days ago now, they posted on Pwcc just some limited information about the 25th anniversary set, and it basically gave a breakdown of the different products that were going to be coming out, as well as what we can expect the contents of those products to be. And the biggest surprise for most people, at least I assume, was that these products are going to be containing mini packs, which are going to contain four cards per pack, as well as your normal booster packs, which we assume are going to be from Evolving Skies, or Chilling Reign, possibly Battle Styles, maybe. Um, but yeah, basically this 25th anniversary set. It sounds like it's going to be a mini set, kind of similar to, at least what I think is, it's going to be kind of similar to what Detective Pikachu was, where it's those mini packs, and it's going to be a lot smaller of a set versus these standard sets that we're seeing now that have a million different cards in them. So I'm actually pretty excited for if it is in fact a smaller set.
I hope it's not that small though.
Oh, I hope it's not as small as Detective Pikachu, because that was only like 18 cards.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah,
50 to 100, I feel like is a good number. And then secret rares, if they have a few, hopefully not 50, but it's interesting because it's different. I mean, we've not seen that kind of a product as far as I remember, with like the standard booster packs, and then alongside these smaller booster packs. Um, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then all this speculation about if and where EV Heroes is going to fall. I think there's reasonable theories as to why it's going to be Evolving Skies. Some of the hints in the name and how it links to Roaring Skies, and Rayquaza was in that. Rayquaza's in the sky on some of the EV Heroes cards, and I don't keep up completely in all the different Pokemon news sites, but I do hear. I read Poke Beach. I try to read that fairly regularly, but it'll be a really interesting fall. It's been an interesting going on over a year now. I mean, it's just been insane, hard to keep up with, and
Oh, it really has been.
I'm really happy with Modern overall, and I think they've been doing a great job. I mean, you're fairly negative on Battle Styles, it sounds. I thought it was a decent set. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but even Shining Fates, it wasn't a hidden Fates, but I liked it.
I enjoyed opening up Shining Fates. That was a fun one for me. Because I didn't get to open up too much of. I actually opened up Shining Fates before I opened up Hidden Fates. So I thought Shining Fates was fun. And then Battle Styles, I wasn't a big fan of that one. Probably because I'm still upset I didn't get the alternative art Tyranitar.
Yeah. I think we're in just such a great period for Modern. Just so, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see Battle Styles go sub 100. I don't think we're gonna get there with Chilling Reign, at least not right out of the gate. But I long for the day that I log onto my distributor site and I see the last 8 sets available to buy at wholesale pricing, and I think we're gonna get there eventually. Just not super soon. we'll see where we're at though. But I think there's gonna be decent allocations going into the fall on Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies, especially if it includes EV Heroes.
I think it's definitely going to EV Hero. I personally think EV Heroes is definitely going to be in Evolving Skies. Now that we know the name Evolving Skies and we kind of saw like the set name artwork, I think it's a pretty safe bet to assume EV Heroes is going to be in Evolving Skies. But now I'm more curious as to what's going to be in this 25th anniversary set, where it's because I originally thought EV Heroes might go into that one, and then I also thought I was kind of thinking along the same lines of everyone else that it was going to be a Gen 2 reprint. But now that we know it's going to be a somewhat smaller set, at least we think so, and at least in my personal opinion, I think EV Heroes is going to be in Evolving Skies. I really have no idea what this 25th anniversary set's going to be like.
I mean, if it's 50 to 100 cards, say, I mean, that leaves the door open for a Jungle Fossil mix-up. I mean, those were 2 small sets. You could fit the highlights, the best of both worlds, like into one set in that ballpark. Maybe it could even be. How big was Evolutions? Was that out of 100?
I was actually just thinking that. I think that was
out of 100.
I want to say it was like 100, maybe 105.
Yeah, not much over 100. Out of 106 or 108, I think. I think Charizard was 11 out of 108, if I remember right. But you could theoretically do. I think there's a lot of speculations. Evolutions 2.0 with the Neo sets, or with Jungle Fossil, and I think there's room for that potentially.
That's true.
It would be. It's kind of weird with a 4-card booster pack. I mean, it could be anything, but I think the door is still open for something like that. But in any case, it's something to build up anticipation over these coming months and the 25th anniversary, whatever other things they come out with. I think, like I said, it's just super exciting time. But it's just kind of going back to our grading thing. A set like EV Heroes dropping, say it's in Evolving Skies, not being able to grade those cards like Eevee is massive, all the evolutions. That dynamic of not having quickly and easily available graded cards, like what's that going to do to the raw card market? What's that going to do longer term as they slowly trickle out into getting graded? Really, really interesting, exciting, just to think about all of it and where it's all going to go.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely. No, I'm having fun with. I never used to be too big into modern, but I'm definitely having a lot of fun with modern nowadays, where it is more from a business perspective, it's more profitable nowadays to sell modern. So it's more worthwhile to open up these packs and sell the individual cards for me. So I'm definitely having a lot of fun with modern and being able to open up all these new sets and see all these new cards and learn. Hopefully, at some point soon, sit down and learn how to actually play the TCG because right now I have no idea how to actually play the game. But I
yeah,
would like to learn that so I have a better understanding of what cards are good within modern versus what cards are more or less junk.
I know very broadly how to play, but I've not really ever played.
I find that so funny of how a majority of the people who are into Pokemon have no idea how to play the actual game.
Yeah, it definitely really is interesting and fairly unique. I think at least to the extent that it is with Pokemon. Um, Another couple notes, I guess. 25th anniversary's a little bit further into the fall, but Pokey Beach did release the spoilers for Chilling Reign. I think the total English set list came out.
Yep.
I think it just shows like it shows the Japanese cards,
Hmm.
but every card that's out there, if you want to see it, you can go there and just see the list. I don't really have too much to dive into on that, but
No.
I'm not. I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of the Galarian legendary bird alternates, whatever you want to call them. They're alternate
No, I
forms.
hear.
Or
I definitely hear you there. I
I
took
think
I took a quick look through it this afternoon, and then before we hopped on, Mason with Cardinal Gaming was doing a YouTube live where he was opening up Chilling Reign. So
uh,
I was watching that for a little bit too. But the artwork seems pretty good. I'm a fan of the artwork overall. I
yeah, that's 2 weeks from today, right? Is it the 16th that it
think it's the
releases?
18th.
18th.
Yep.
That makes sense. That would be a Friday. Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday.
Yep.
Uh, Another big thing. I sent you a message on this a couple days ago, and then I think it kind of became a bit more official either yesterday or today. But special delivery Charizard. Anyone remembering late last year, $20 or more order from the Pokemon Center, you'd get the special delivery Pikachu put in there. Everyone anticipated and expected special delivery Charizard to kind of be the same deal. Well, apparently, some of them got slipped into random orders through the Pokemon Center. I'm kind of bummed because I bought this nice playmat and I didn't get a special delivery Charizard slipped in with it. um, but presumably those are somewhere on the horizon. So just imagine all the 25th anniversary sets being released and all this hype going on, and then just one morning the internet blows up. Special delivery Charizard's available. Go spend $50 at the Pokemon Center or whatever it is, and I'm sure the site will be blocking everybody and completely dying like it did last time. And
Well, did it die with the special delivery Pikachu?
I placed quite a few orders. I did a lot of Christmas shopping. And I had a lot of times where I was getting hit with refresh your page, try again later. Like I successfully got a lot of orders through, but it took a while. It took some work. And then I talked to you about this. I've been blocked. Like when I was buying my ball guy playmat, just navigating a few pages, looking at what they had for in stock playmats and random things, new releases. If you navigate through like 5 windows too quickly, you'll get blocked for like 6 hours. It's
Man.
it's crazy. In incognito mode, a different browser. I think there's like different ways to get around it, but for a human manually navigating to have to do 10 captchas in 2 minutes and then still getting blocked and then it's just a rough situation that website has going on right now, and I can only imagine if special delivery Charizard hits, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, no, they gotta figure something out there, because special delivery Charizard will be a lot worse than Pikachu, where everyone is expecting the Charizard to perform as well, if not better, than the Pikachu did. Because I think for the most part, people weren't expecting the Pikachu to spike as much as it did right out of the gate,
Oh,
or
definitely not.
relatively speaking, right out of the gate within a month or two. But everyone's going to be expecting the Charizard to perform the same way. So I think it's just going to be a mass frenzy to try and grab one.
Yeah.
I want to try and grab one, because I completely missed out on the Pikachu. When did Pikachu come out?
I don't remember if it was October or November, but I was doing like Christmas shopping. It came with the ornament thing too. Um, I know that shipping was slow around then, but Pikachu was available for at least a couple days. And I think most of my stuff I got like well before Christmas, but some of the later ones that I had ordered were fairly tight to getting them before Christmas, I think. So it was probably like mid November if I had to just guess from memory.
Okay. Yeah.
I could be off by a month or two. I have no idea, but definitely before Christmas at some point.
Well, I know it was before the end of November, because that's when I got home and it was already released.
Yeah, it's probably mid early November.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so I think Charizard's going to be 10 times worse than what Pikachu was. But
Yeah,
I'd like to get at least one from the Pokemon Center, just to say I got it from the actual Pokemon Center and didn't have to pay
scalper prices.
however much money for it.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. Hopefully they just print 1 million of them and they'll just give like everyone 10 per order or something, and it'll be widely available. And
There we go.
probably not though.
I doubt it. Now, what do you think of the so Macari sold? There were one or two that sold on Macari
Yeah.
for $1,000. At least that's what, I don't know if they have like best offer on there. I never used there. But what do you think of that? What do you think of that pricing? Where it's not out yet and everyone wants it.
If anything, I would have thought like that was a little low.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking I would have immediately bought that, sent it off to CGC or even PSA for like a super high, super fast turnaround time, and threw it up as an eBay auction.
Oh yeah, if it was 10 worthy, even I mean paying $300 sounds crazy, but if you had $1,300 into it and you got a 10,
you do really good on that. I think even a 9, where it's the only one that's out, or I guess there was a few that were shipped out, but this is the first one that we've seen sold.
Yeah, it would be a fairly risky thing, I think. Just like if you did that and then next week Pokemon Center started adding them in with orders, you'd be in, because even $300 a card, it's not like you're sending on a Monday and getting it back Friday.
Yeah.
I think you're still looking at a few weeks. So, but yeah, I was surprised it wasn't a bit higher. I think the way Mercari, I don't think it was an auction. I think it was just like buy it now or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not positive. I don't know if US or English Mercari is the same way. Like I buy stuff from Mercari, buy stuff out of Japan on Mercari, and it's all just buy it now.
Okay. Yep.
I do it through Buy, and I don't think there's a way to send offers or anything. At least I don't know of it. I've always just buy it now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I have no idea on that. I've only ever sold on eBay. That's been about it for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think
I think that's everything. Yeah.
Did you have anything else you want to mention?
There was one last thing. For anybody who stuck around, I guess we had talked about in our previous podcast the Pwcc Vault. and this isn't sponsored by PWCC or anything like that.
We're
I've
sponsored
used this.
by the North Face.
Yeah, we're sponsored by the North Face only, and Ball Guy. Uh, so back in March, PWCC had the 3 free promo where you could send in 3 submissions of graded cards, any size, like not 3 cards total. You could send in 3 submissions of 500 cards each. And they'd all be free if you use this promo code. Free to get them into the vault, free storage forever, not free sales. Like if you put it to auction or if you sold it through the Buy It Now vault, you'd pay the normal final value fees. But they have this new promotion. I guess it goes through the end of August, which to me is crazy. Like they must just have so much space they're looking to fill in. Use the promo code INVEST and 5 free submissions this time. So, I mean, I sent out most of what I had at the time back in March, but I've got anybody who's been subscribed to my YouTube, I've had a lot of PSA and CGC returns lately, and I have a fair bit more in the pipeline. So I'm sure I'm going to send something to them. What exactly, I don't know. But there's no reason to pay the vault fees between now and the end of August. Just use that promo code and get it in there for free. So another little reward for everyone who stuck around a little over an hour with us here.
There we go. I like it. Now, one quick question, because I've never used this. Do you get any type of discount if you take something that you have in the vault and have them put it up on auction, or is it the same for everyone?
I'm pretty sure it's the same. I've had like May just had they do 2 nights now for the auction. I sold like 30 things in May, I think.
Nice.
It's I think it's like 15% plus $5 for everything 50 and under. So that works out to be a substantial percent. That's like 25% on a $50 item, because the $5 alone is 10%. It's not ideal for items that cheap, but then it scales all the way down. I think 5,000 and up is like 8%. One consideration with that is their fees don't cap. Like if you have a store, your fees cap at $350 or $750 depending on the category that it's in.
Yep.
Whereas theirs don't. So as far as I'm aware, anything you submit through this promotion, it's subject to the same final value fees as any other card. If anybody's got any super high-end stuff, they offer like the premier auction now.
Yep.
I didn't follow it live, but I heard there were some issues with that on the format and the way it worked. But just the point I was trying to make, if you have anything really high end, before I like put it into an auction, I'd reach out with them. Everything is negotiable at some point. Oh
yeah, absolutely.
Like if I was selling a $300,000 card through them, I would not be paying 8%. That is negotiable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure some people do. I'm sure some people just submit it as the same way I submit a $500 card and I pay the retail price. But if you've got the right kind of item, you can get some cheaper rates and you can get some additional incentives to get that kind of thing done. So that's something,
because it drives traffic to them too for having this rare item, whatever. Like with the Pikachu illustrator, that gained so much attention for PWCC because that was constantly on the eBay homepage. Bid on this Pikachu illustrator, auctioned by PWCC.
Yeah. And I know, getting into like other auction houses, I've heard of things where, like say Heritage or something, I think 20 or 25% buyer premium. Mm-hmm. In certain cases, like say you were selling a $1 million rookie card of something or whatever, there are times where the seller will actually get 105, maybe 110% of hammer price.
Yep.
So if a card sells for 1 million, you might get 1.1 because some amount of that buyer's premium, they just shuffle your way. So because I mean, in that scenario, they're making 100 grand, you're making an additional 100 grand, everyone's happy.
Oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah. My
I know that I don't have anything I'm auctioning of that tier where I can try negotiating with them, but it is something interesting to bring up, and for anyone that might be doing that.
yeah, no, definitely useful to get a little bit more money from your sale if you do have something of that caliber to auction off. But yeah, I think that's about all that I had for tonight. Are you did you have anything else you wanted to add before we sign off here?
Nope, and I think we're at a good spot right in our hour to hour and a half window.
Yeah, I think that was good. Well, thank you guys for watching. For those of you who are still with us, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, video topics, feel free to leave them down below in the comments section, and we'll kind of pick out a few of those as we do per every episode, and talk about them within our next podcast, which will hopefully be 2 weeks from today. We've been aiming for bi-weekly, which has been working out pretty good. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Dan, it's always fun to chat with you. Hope you have a good rest of your night there.
Yep, you too. It was a good chat, and as Nick said, like, subscribe, check back with us 2 weeks later, and we'll have episode 7 out. We've got a solid streak going that we don't intend to break. So
We got to at least make it to the double digits.
oh yeah, I feel like we're gonna take this one the distance.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. We're having fun here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will talk to you later. You have a good one. Thanks
Yeah.
everyone for watching.
Catch you all later.